Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a very young king named King Gerard. And King Gerard could do many different things.
Hello there. It is I, very young King Gerard, and I can ride a bike and throw a ball and count to 10 and roller skate, and I can even spell bus stop.
But there was one thing that the very young king could not do.
That's right. You see, no matter how hard I try, I just can't seem to whistle. Every time I try to whistle, it sounds like this. Boy, that's just awful.
Well, the king was so upset because he loved every kind of whistling. He loved to listen to the birds whistling in the trees. King Gerard also liked to hear the royal grocer whistle a tune as she weighed the royal vegetables. And then there was the royal policeman. King Gerard loved to hear him whistle with his fingers in his mouth when he wanted to stop the traffic in the street.
Oh boy, do I wish I could whistle. I try to whistle, but it just comes out like this. Oh boy, do I hate not being able to whistle.
Well, one day, very young King Gerard got so upset at not being able to whistle that he decided to stop trying.
That's it. From now on, I am through trying to whistle.
And on that day, the king issued a royal proclamation.
Hear ye, hear ye! I, very young King Gerard, hereby proclaim that from now on there will be no more whistling in my kingdom. Because if I can't whistle, nobody's gonna whistle.
And on that day, everyone in the kingdom stopped whistling. Well, the kingdom became a little quieter and a little less happy than it had been before. But then, after a week or two, some interesting things began to happen. For instance, the birds said to each other,
"Listen, we gotta make some kind of noise. Even if we're not allowed to whistle, we can't just sit in the trees all day."
"Yeah, hey, I know. How about this? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit."
Hey, good idea. If we can't whistle, we can at least croak like frogs. Ribbit, ribbit,
Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. And one day, the grocer said to herself,
"Well, if I can't whistle while I weigh the turnips, I guess I'll just play this big old trombone instead." Oh, not bad, not bad.
And the royal policeman said,
"Well, if I'm not allowed to whistle to stop the traffic, maybe the sound of this big drill will help." Okay, everybody stop. There's some kids who want to cross the street.
Well, this kind of thing had been going on for some time when one day the king's sister, the sweet young Princess Kathy, knocked on the king's door.
Who is it?
It's me, Gerard.
Oh, my sister, the sweet young Princess Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Listen, Gerard, I just want you to know that I'm sick of this no whistling stuff. I'm sick of all the birds croaking like frogs, and the grocers playing trombones, and the policemen drilling in the middle of the street. And more than that, I think it's silly that you gave up trying to whistle. You should have kept trying. That's all I have to say. I'm fed up with you, Gerard. I'll see you around.
And the sweet young Princess Kathy left the king alone. Well, the king sat and thought for a while, and he realized that he might have been wrong. So he issued another proclamation.
Okay. Maybe I was wrong. So, I, very young King Gerard, hereby proclaim that everyone can start whistling again.
And so they did. The birds started whistling again. And so did the grocer. And so did the royal policeman. And King Gerard liked the sound of the whistling so much that he decided that he would try to whistle again.
Well, here I go. I guess I'll try to whistle again. Hey, that was a little better than I used to do. Wait a minute. Did you hear that? I did it. I can whistle.
And suddenly, the king could whistle. He could,
Wow, how about that?
and he could, and he could even,
Fantastic. Boy, do I love whistling.
and so, very young King Gerard whistled, and he whistled, and he whistled.
Gerard, will you please hold it down? I'm trying to study.
Oh, sorry, Kathy. I'll try to do it a little more quietly.
And very young King Gerard whistled happily ever after.
You know, everybody, I guess when there's something you want to do, and then you do it for the first time, it can make you feel really special.
Sure, like when you try real hard to whistle, and then you finally learn how.
Or crossing the street by yourself, which I personally will do someday.
Or going to your first Grouch birthday party. Yep, or finally being tall enough to reach something you couldn't reach. Whenever there's something you want to do that you've never done before, it's always special when you do it for the first time. The first time you do something new, you want to do it more. You say, hey, look at me, I've never done that before.
You climb a tree you couldn't climb, there's so much to explore. Hey, look at me, I've never done that before.
It makes you feel proud inside. It makes you feel good all over to know that you've tried and tried. And now you can finally do what you wanted to.
So if you're gonna reach the dream that you've been wishing for, just hope and work and wish just a little more. Till you can say, hey, look at me, I've never done that before. A baby lion purrs and growls until he learns to roar. He says, hey, look at me, I've never done that before. Columbus sailed around the world and reached a distant shore. Said, hey, look at me, I've never done that before.
Sometimes when the going's rough, it's hard just to keep on trying.
But if you try hard enough,
Then suddenly you can do what you wanted to.
so if you're gonna reach the dream that you've been wishing for, just hope and work and wish just a little more. Till you can say, hey, look at me, I've never done that. Say, look at me, I've never done that. Hey, look at me, I've never done that before.